What's up guys, welcome back to some more Marvel Contest of Champions, and we're taking a look at the Web Slinger challenge, which was supposed to be a bit more difficult than the Batista challenge, and overall I would say that it was a lot easier. The thing that made the Batista challenge harder was one, if you didn't complete it on that first day, then you had to run through the whole map at once. You couldn't split it up like you can with this one, and also the heal block on pass 5 and 6 for the Batista challenge, it was heal block, complete heal block, whereas this one it's only if you get hit with a special, then it's a heal block. And the life transfer makes it so that you can bring any champion in here that you want, you know, your favorite champs, just come in and mess around if you want to. And if you mess up, it's alright. Most of the time, sometimes you do get KO'd if you mess up. One combo can finish you. But for overall, I would say that this is a fun quest, a lot less irritating than the past ones. So I've already 100% this challenge, and since then I've gone back through and used a few different champions. I think I went through this final path like maybe 2 more times. I'm not fully I can't really remember, but not saying that it's like super easy and you won't use any potions, because like I said, if you do mess up, these are Spider-Man, so they do evade. Even this Black Widow, you'll see later on in this fight, I end up getting KO'd even though I'm trying to play it super safe, just because I'm not sure like what to expect. So I did this. The plan for this fight was to just keep using my L3 and then just really go at him when he's stunned. Her L3 has a 70% chance to stun. For some reason I was thinking it was up there around 90. I don't know if they brought that down or not. I could have sworn it was a lot higher than 70, but one of these times it actually doesn't stun him, and I was surprised. I went back later to see, and I found out that it's just a 70% chance. But what I do end up getting hit by was I dashed in and he evaded. I wasn't prepared for the evade, and I ended up getting hit and KO'd. So I ended up reviving her, and this was the only revive that I used on this path, on this go, and didn't have to use any health potions with it. I just used a 40% revive, and I don't even think I needed to do that. I could have just used a 20% and got a parry at the beginning of the fight, did a few hits, and got my health back up. So let's go ahead and fast forward to where I end up getting caught by the evade and then attack right afterwards. Okay, so it's right here. He does that second special. I dash in and get caught. So what was that? 4 hits and KO'd right there. So I ended up finishing that fight off, revived Black Widow with a 40%, and then I finished him off with about 45 hits after that. But I wanted to show you just how forgiving this chapter can be with the life transfer. As you can see, I'm all the way down there on health, probably about 15%, and just with a few hits, right back up there to full health. I came back in here with Winter Soldier just for fun, and I wanted to practice evading that first special. I heard a tip about when you're supposed to dash back, and I wanted to test it out. So basically what he said was, as soon as he squats down into a stance, to just start swiping back and do it multiple times, and you should be able to evade it. What I've been doing in the past was trying to wait for it the web balls to get close and then start swiping back, and I end up getting hit by, a lot of times getting hit by at least one of them. So the second fight is the Symbiote Spider-Man, and in this map his first special is unblockable. So that's the only difficult part about this. So my idea was to keep him under that first power bar by using Dormammu and finishing off combos with medium attacks and using my second special. I did push him to the first special once, and I wanted to show you it because he fires it off immediately, and I wanted to show you the unblockable part. It used to be the web balls, but now it is the first punch. So if you can get hit by the web balls, as long as you evade that first punch, then you won't take any. You won't get hit by the unblockable part. So after he fires off a special, he does get I can't remember, somewhere between 7 and 10 second evade, and I wasn't paying attention to that and wasted a second special. But the rest of the fight, I just end up keeping him under that power bar, just locking him down with the medium attack and the second special. So I'm just going to fast forward this fight. It is a long one. It takes over 100 hits. I think somewhere around 150 hits. Whenever I did remember, I did use the heavy attack and then let his meter get up to 100. I can't remember what those things are called. And then fired off another heavy attack after that. And the second heavy attack does about 8,000 damage with the class advantage. But other than that, it's just, like I said, keeping him under that first power bar so he doesn't use his specials, he doesn't evade, he doesn't have the unblockable. I do go back in here with, what is his name, Mordo, and I'm about to show you that here in a minute. Let's just let this fight finish up. The idea of using Mordo was because he can block unblockable attacks as long as you hold block for half a second before you get hit by the unblockable part, and that's where it's important to know where his unblockable is for Spider-Man. Like I said, it's not the web balls, it is actually the first punch. So if you start holding block as soon as he throws it, then you can block his unblockable punches. The only bad thing about using Mordo is that Spider-Man does get those evades because he is using specials. But it's a lot of fun using Mordo. I didn't use him like I normally do, which is I parry and then charge my heavy, fire it off, and then charge it again before he while he's dashing in. Just because a lot of times I do end up getting hit by that because it's hard to get that timing down, landing that heavy right as he gets in. Or sometimes I do fire a special just in case I do miss that heavy, but if I would have done that technique, then I probably would have been KO'd a few times because they do hit harder in this quest than they do in like Arena. But I do end up taking down this Spider-Man with Mordo. It ends up taking 112 hits, which was 41 hits less than it took with Dormammu. So moving on to Spider-Gwen, this was probably the fastest fight of the quest. Her node, she has Stupefy, which means if you get hit by that second special, then the fight's over because it increases the stun by 100%, and you're just going to get KO before the stun runs out. So I think my initial plan for this fight was I was just going to use Gwenpool's second special to keep Spider-Gwen locked down, or her powered lockdown. I really didn't want her to use her first special just because it gives her that evade buff, which you see right there. So I think I just went ahead and abandoned that plan and just went all out on her, baiting out the specials, trying to push her to second special when I can, and then yeah, baiting that special out. I think that ended up being a better plan because her second special does that armor break, and she just does so much more damage with that armor break on, plus you got the bleed ticking away as well. There's actually not much more I can say about this fight, so I'm just going to hit the fast forward button and get on to the next one. So for the fourth fight here, we have the Spider-Man Miles Morales, and as you can see, I've sped this up a bit as well. There's two ways of approaching this fight. You can use Black Widow, and I'm not sure what signature level she has to be. Mine is level 99, but she will not trigger his evade at all. So you can just go at it as if he's not an evasive champion, use your specials at will. You don't have to worry about how many evade buffs he has. Or you can use a different champion, like I could have used Spider-Gwen or someone else, and you can play it slow until he uses all 5 of his evades, and then just not use any specials at all during the fight. And then from that point forward, he will just be a non-evasive champion, and you just go at him. But like I said, you can't use any specials. You can evade the web balls if you choose to, but it's not necessary, because after a special, you just dash in and start hitting them, get back to full health. So the last fight of this path is the Stark Enhanced Spider-Man, who is stun immune, and he has a modified version of Strike Back. It only works if his AI is online, so if you're using a Cosmic Champ, as soon as you land a hit, then it knocks his AI offline, and you don't have to worry about it. I think it reboots in about 10 seconds, and then once you hit him again, then it goes back offline. If you're not using the Cosmic Champ, you would have to land a heavy attack, which would be a little difficult considering that he is stun immune. But other than that, the biggest issue I found fighting him is his evade. I'd have to go back and find out what the percentage is on it, but he does evade a little bit in the first half of the fight, and then after he hits 50% health, I know that evade is increased. I can't remember by how much is increased. I just know that a few of the times that I fought him in this quest, I did end up getting KO'd just because of that evade. I actually don't have a whole lot of experience fighting this Spider-Man, just because he wasn't in the special event quest, the monthly event quest, which was surprising. I figured he would be one of the bosses in there, but maybe next month he'll be a boss. We'll see. I baited out his first special each time, so I ended up doing pretty well on the first attempt, not so much on some of the next attempts. As you can see, I got caught by the evade right there. I tried using Black Widow in a later fight, but she doesn't really reduce his evade enough, so you're just best off using a Cosmic Champ. That way you can use your special attacks and shut down his, his AI. So finally we have the boss, which is Vulture, and he is also stun immune, and he has a 100% power gain, and it also says that he is more likely to activate a third special, which makes you think that it's going to be hard to bait out his specials, but that just isn't the case. So I didn't know that going into the fight, and I brought in Dormammu just to do power control on him. And this fight, if I wouldn't have got KO'd, would have been a very, very long fight. But I probably would have ended up getting KO'd anyways, because Vulture has a armor up for the entire fight, and you can't get rid of it. I mean, you can nullify it briefly, but no matter what, it's going to come back. Even if you do Fate Seal for the duration, as soon as the Fate Seal ends, it's going to come right back. Right there, I got caught by the first special. I thought he was doing a heavy attack, so I dashed back and then dashed in and just got smacked by his glider. So I brought in Gwenpool, and the fight actually could have gone a lot faster if I would have used my third special, but for whatever reason I didn't think about doing it. I was just in a groove of going in, attacking, baiting out that first special. A few times I did push him to the second special, but that can be a little tricky to evade if you're not fully paying attention. He spins around, and so you avoid his wings, but there's also like sort of a blast that comes from his engines afterwards, and it has more distance than it looks like it does. And it caught me a couple of times. Once, I'm not sure if it was actually this quest or the monthly quest where it caught me, where I didn't know what happened. It was the first time that I fought him. I didn't know what happened. I just saw this flash of light and I was KO'd. So I'd say you want to stay at least half the screen away from that final blast before you dash in and attack, just to be safe. As far as his glider is concerned, just dash back to as far back as you can go and just wait for it to fly over your head, and then dash right in. As you can see right now, he's just spamming that first special. So like I said, I don't know why they put that he is special 3 bias, because I'm just having no issue at all baiting out that first special. So yes, I would recommend bringing in an armor break champ like Iron Fist, or Gwenpool. Just actually use your third special to force the armor break. So I'm going to go ahead and let this fight play out, and I'll catch back up with you at the end for the rewards and show you what I got. So here are the Chapter 4 completion awards, just doing one time through. I did go back and finish it 100% through for round 4, and then I worked my way backwards, did round 3 and then round 2. So round 2 was the 100% completion for the quest. So there's the Awakening Gem and the Glass Catalyst Crystal, and also the title, the Web Slinger title. So switching from Rocket's Little Helper to Web Slinger. And as far as the crystals are concerned, for the Tier 4 class Catalyst, what I was looking for was Mutant Really, for that Iceman that I know I'm going to get next week when I open up. If not that, then I'm not sure what I wanted, but I end up getting science, and that gives me sick, so the last class that I needed to get. And then for the awakening gem, there was 3 classes that I wouldn't have mind getting, which was the mutant, mystic, and skill. And I end up getting cosmic, which I guess I would use on Angela maybe, or I could awaken my Thor. I don't know. I have time. They're both at rank 3, whichever I decide to do. And I don't have plans of ranking either one of those up anytime soon. I do like using Angela. I've used her a little bit, and I realized that you have to keep her at her, try to keep her around her first power bar. So that's going to do it for this video. Hopefully it helps some of you guys out. So take care, and thanks for watching.